The trouble continues for a new apartment complex as it could now be violating a city ordinance.
National Night Out as Columbia neighborhoods work to make the city safer.
And a Facebook group in Mexico goes digital to fight crime, but some are not happy about it. KOMU 8 News at 9 starts now.
Live from Studio 8A, coverage you can count in high definition. This is KOMU 8 News at 9.
Making headlines again. Now a new student housing complex could be violating a city ordinance. Good evening. I'm Brittany Pieper.
And I'm Jim Rick. Thanks for joining us. Aspen Heights has been under fire from tenants who have been relocated to hotels while construction crews continue to work on the complex. But now a resident who was allowed to move in says he could be living in his unit illegally. KOMU 8's Alex Mallon talked to that tenant, and he joins us live from Aspen Heights with the details.
As you can see behind me, here's some of the finished units that Aspen Heights has. Now on the other side, the construction crews are still hard at work to finish up those unfinished units. Now one of the residents who says he was allowed to move in says he isn't. Reporting live from Columbia, Alex Mallon, KOMU 8 News.
Columbia neighborhood associations and police joined together for a relaxing evening and to heighten crime prevention awareness tonight. 13 neighborhood watches took part in the 30th National Night Out. Neighbors gathered together over dinner and other activities. Police officers who worked those areas attended to answer questions from the neighbors.
It is a way for us to formally or informally tell them about our concerns. And that's important that they hear from the citizens of the town.
It's important for the police department to get in and visit with neighbors during National Night Out. It's a way for the police department and the neighborhoods to communicate, and also for them to get to know their beat officer.
Police say the purpose of the neighborhood watch is to generate support for anti-crime programs and to strengthen police partnerships.
A joint effort to address crime in Columbia and Boone County resulted in 200 traffic stops and 40 arrests. The Columbia Police Department, Boone County Sheriff's Department, MU Police Department, Missouri State Highway Patrol, and U.S. Marshals worked together for 3 days last week. This is not the first time CPD has worked with other departments, but this was on a much larger scale than in the past.
And so it's really exciting. We love doing coordinated work. Anytime you have more people dedicated to an operation, the results are always going to be better. So the more people we have, the better off everything turns out and better for the community.
The Columbia Police Department plans to coordinate more frequent saturation efforts in the future, but on a smaller scale. The man arrested for killing a Columbia man pleaded guilty to second-degree murder and armed criminal action today. Durante Logan killed 39-year-old Lamont Sargent in March 2012. Logan was arrested in August 2012 after police received a tip about his whereabouts. The judge sentenced Logan to 2 20-year sentences to be served concurrently.
We have new information about the driver in last week's Danville bus crash. Records from the Kansas City Police Department show it issued 72-year-old Went Smith 2 tickets when he ran a tour bus into a parked car. The first ticket was for careless driving. The second was for leaving the scene of an accident. Last week, Smith drove a bus traveling along I-70 carrying 18 people from the Missouri School for the Deaf. Police say Smith was going too fast at the exit, went into the grass and flipped. The Highway Patrol tells us all 18 people went to University Hospital. The hospital says all have been released. A Facebook group's attempt to curb crime in Mexico is causing controversy. The Facebook page called Drug-Free Mexico, Missouri posts the names of alleged drug dealers. KOMU8's Joe Prozek joins us here in the studio with more on this controversy.
The owner of the page did not respond to my request for comments, but does say on the page that it is meant to act as a whistleblower and keep the community safe. The page has more than 400 likes, and according to the page, it operates on tips from the community. However, others in the community feel police department, but one officer told me they had no comment and weren't going to make one.
Drivers in Ashland have decided to pay a little more for a smooth commute. Voters hit the polls beginning early this morning. The key issue on the ballot raises the sales tax by 0.5%. Revenue from the increase will go towards city road repairs. Alderman John Hills says one of the first projects the city will start is making improvements to Main Street.
I think there's a lot of them that need work, not necessarily the whole road, but there's a lot of roads, the older subdivisions that at this time need attention.
Some voters told KOMU8 News they are happy to pay a little bit more if it means the roads will be in better condition. In two other special elections today, Camden County residents voted to raise the property tax. The tax increase is 14 cents per $100 of assessed value. That would mean an extra $140 on a $100,000 house. Funds from the tax increase will fund the fire district, and voters in Cooper County approved a measure for the Village Windsor Place to sell bonds for the purpose of extending and improving the sewer system of the village. The principal amount cannot be more than $1.32 million, and the bonds can come only from revenues by the village from sewer operations. That measure passed 82-3.
Jefferson City Fire Department is working with lifeguards to keep your family safer at the pool. A new training program with Parks and Rec will help firefighters better respond to drownings. Lifeguards showed the firefighters how to safely remove a drowning victim from the pool and how to handle spinal injuries. Lifeguards also taught firefighters rescue techniques from private pool drownings. Crews learned to adapt their equipment for water rescues.
So it's a good communication of knowing, what they'll have to do when they get to our facilities, and it's good for the kids to know what to expect from the fire department when they get here.
Their people are experts in this. Our people are not experts in swimming pool incidents, so they have opted to help teach us.
Every firefighter will be pool safety trained by Thursday. Next summer, the fire department will start the training earlier before swimming lessons begin.
Heavy rains brought the floodwaters to Missouri and prompted Governor Nixon to declare a state of emergency in Waynesville and Pulaski counties. Earlier today, a child drowned in Waynesville. The Pulaski County Sheriff Ron Long says the child's body was found early today near a creek. Rescuers are also looking for missing people, but he did not say how many people are missing. Local officials estimate more than 50 homes are flooded after creeks rose rapidly.
Just watching the water rise, and sheds went by, and trash cans and barbecue grills, and they come and got us on the boat.
A wet August could get even wetter for much of Missouri. According to the National Weather Service, an unstable weather pattern is expected to continue for the next week, raising river and creek water levels along with flood concerns. Now here's Simone with a quick look at our local weather.
Well, not too much flooding expected in our area, but tuned, and we'll keep you updated as the storm system progresses.
Al-Qaeda threats against Americans in the Middle East continue.
As embassies stay closed, why the U.S. is urging Americans to flee a specific country. And one man in Denmark says he was just trying out a science experiment, but that experiment shut down city streets and brought in the bomb squad.
Now, your live Doppler 8 report.
Well, good evening and thanks for tuning in. It's been most certainly a most
90s on there and no 100s on there. So
it's great. I love
Jim's happy.
That's right. All right, Simone, thank you.
You're welcome.
2 years later, problems persist for a nuclear plant after a 2011 tsunami.
Now the radioactivity is reaching dangerous levels.
The U.S. State Department ordered non-essential staff at its Yemen embassy to leave the country today, while also encouraging all Americans to leave as well. The order comes in response to continuing threats from al-Qaeda to attack U.S. properties in the Middle East. However, the Yemeni government criticized the decision and said it plays right into the hands of al-Qaeda. The government added that it has taken all necessary precautions to protect Western compounds in the country. A bomb scare in Copenhagen caused panic today when people said they saw a car with wires sticking out from it. Police called in a military bomb disposal unit after they found the suspicious car downtown. The units evacuated a number of streets, and experts traced the wires but found no bomb. The car's owner says he was conducting an experiment to see if he could use his car to generate power. And problems persist at a Fukushima nuclear plant as radioactive groundwater has risen above an underground barrier. According to Japan's nuclear watchdog agency, the rising water problem the plant is not dealing with. The agency said the water will likely leak into the ocean and exceed legal limits for radioactive discharge. This is just the latest in a string of problems for the plant's owners, TEPCO, since the 2011 earthquake and tsunami wrecked the plant. And that's your look around the world tonight.
Tigers return to practice this morning in full pads. Time to start hitting. Sports is next.
From the Ford Sports Desk, KOMU 8 Sports.
Hello, everyone. And that is sports.
Well, we've all been there before. You make some crazy bet, and if you lose, you have to do something really embarrassing.
That's what happened to one IndyCar driver. Find out why he had to trade his car and tracksuit for a tricycle and buck-toothed ride.
Every now and then, race car drivers get out of the fast lane. IndyCar driver Alex Tagliani found himself on a tricycle while wearing a beaver costume to pay off a bet with fellow IndyCar driver Scott Dixon. The two raised more than $13,000 for charities. The loser had to perform the crazy public stunt. It's pretty crazy. Coming up on KOMU 8 News at 10, we'll let you know how Mid-Missouri is honoring Korean War veterans as the 60th anniversary of the war nears.
And a Missouri man is facing big fines after an incident involving a historic Italian statue. You can find the latest news, weather, and sports always online at our website, KOMU.com.
And more rainy weather ahead, but make sure that you have those umbrellas handy for your upcoming weeks, but no severe weather expected for the next couple of days. This will be good. Can't wait.
You know, I'm going to just go over this one more time. At this time last year, we had already had 10, 15 days of triple-digit heat. We had one stretch of something like 23 days in a row where it was 90 or higher, so this is
not bad.
a great summer. I'll take it.
Have a great night.